All right, so this is part two of the tropical astrology video. Okay, so we're gonna go into the real fine details of how we get to where you can have a birth chart and know pretty much every single thing about yourself and everything that's going on with you on a daily, down to the minute. That's how precise tropical astrology is. So when you take your first breath, that is the Holy Ghost that they talk about in the Bible and all that stuff. The Holy Ghost is just air, just a breath. You breathe it in. So your first breath that you take, that determines, we take a screenshot of the universe at that moment, and that is your birth chart. Where all the celestial orbs are in the sky, when you were born, determines everything, your look, your height, personality, location on the planet, all that. So when you're dealing with tropical astrology, you gotta look at each individual planet, look at the aspects, the transits, all this stuff. It ain't just one sign. You're not just a Leo. You're not just a Sagittarius. Like, you have a sun. The sun is in a certain sign. You got your moon is in a certain sign. You got Saturn in a certain sign. You got Venus in a certain sign. All this stuff make up your personality. So anybody that's trying to tell you, oh, I'm a Libra, I'm a whatever, they're just very uninformed, you know. So depending on where these orbs are in the sky when you were born, that's going to determine your birth chart. So I'm a Leo. I was born in August. So my sun is in Leo. But there's a house system that's way more important than just the zodiac signs. So the house system is really what determines what you're supposed to be working on with what particular energy or orb in that particular house. So my Saturn is in Libra in the 10th house, which is at home. Saturn rules the 10th house. That's Saturn's house. And in Libra, it exalts in Libra. So for me, I know my energy and what I'm doing is going to be of the public nature because it's the 10th house. The 10th house is a public house. It's, it's dealing with the public pretty much, like the 10th house. So I know that when my Saturn is in the 10th house and with my, actually Libra is ruling that house. So again, it's a different conversation that a lot of astrologers don't get into because the house system is very important. It's actually more important than anything else because the house system is what tells you what you're supposed to be working on this particular incarnation. So the house systems tell you what you're supposed to be doing, and then you got the nodes, the north and south nodes of the moon, which is Rahu and Ketu, which is your past life and what you're supposed to be currently working on. That's what that's all about. So I mean, I could go on and on about tropical astrology, man. It's just so dope. And people knock it because they just don't understand it. And that's what we're about to change. We're about to change that. We're bringing tropical astrology back, where everybody can understand these 12 cranial nerves, these two sets of cranial nerves that you have, these 12 cranial nerves, top and bottom, as above, so below. We're going to reintroduce this to the world so everybody can take back control of their lives. They're so distracted by what's going on with the circus that we can't even focus on ourselves and finding out who we are as individuals so we can be ourselves and stop worrying about living in fear and living in, the unknown and not having any idea what's going on. Tropical astrology is the key to everything. It is the holy science that's talked about in the ancient texts. I don't care where you go, what you do, every single ancient textbook that you will come across has its roots in tropical astrology. Period. Now, they can tell you all this astral projection and all this eating, scrape something off the side of a mountain and all this other stuff and sitting singing Kumbaya in groups. No group setting is going to help you grow as an individual. You have to do that on your own. And the only way that you can grow as an individual is if you study your own birth chart. Period. There's no other way. There's no other way to get to know yourself without studying your tropical astrology birth chart. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. It's the 12 and 7. 12 signs, the seven wandering stars. Well, it's really 10, but 7 that you can see. We're not talking about Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. So, again, this is what tropical astrology is about, man. It's a beautiful thing that we're going to, again, keep rolling it out more and more, and people will catch on, and then eventually we'll all be back in control of our lives. We'll all have GPS over our own lives again. That way we won't have to worry about living in fear, not knowing what's going on, who to turn to, who to talk to. Like, You're your own counselor. You're your own provider. You're your own thinker. You're your own everything. You don't need anybody when you study tropical astrology. Like it's the blueprint to who you are. It's like the Hermeticism. Like for real. Like everything is laid out perfectly when you deal with tropical astrology. Whether it's Aries in the head or Pisces on the feet, everything is mapped out perfectly, and there's no excuse for us anymore to not know, to say you don't know, to say you don't. There's just no more excuses, man. Like this is the key to everything, and the more we drag on feet on trying to get it and understanding and adopt it, the longer it's going to take for us to find happiness. Truly, happiness lies in getting to know thyself, and you can only do that with tropical astrology.